Hello and welcome back to Wack Reviews. My name is Chris Wackaroni, and I'm going to talk to you about a movie you may already be guessing which movie I'll talk about. It's going to be Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going through the MCU movies in order of release, and we're finally up to Spider-Man. So let's wipe that off the screen. I'm going to be going fairly in-depth talking about the things that happened in the movie, and there will be spoilers, so, you know, if you haven't seen the movie and would like to see it, maybe you shouldn't watch this one. And I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions at the end, and there will be some bloopers and goofy stuff as usual at the end, like I like to do. So, let's get going. Alright, so this movie begins with a crew of people cleaning up after the Avengers mess. I guess this took place right after the events in New York from Avengers #1. And Michael Keaton has a crew of people that are cleaning up all the alien mess and debris, and they're trying to, take some of the alien tech, and it's a bunch of people. Some other organization comes in. I guess it was Tony Stark's organization comes in, and they're like, no, this is ours. We're working for Mr. Stark, and this is our project to clean up all this mess and take care of all the alien garbage that's laying around. And pisses off Michael Keaton, and he punches one of the guys, and he's like, private contractor. He's just trying to make a living, and they get kicked out of there, but luckily they've still stashed away some of the alien tech. 8 years later, they are working on using the alien tech for shady reasons, for robbing places and making money in a more shady way now that they can't do it in a legit way. And Michael Keaton shows up, and he's got this really awesome big-ass vulture suit made from the technology, and it's really cool. Obviously very different from the original design. I think it looks amazing. I love what they did with it. It's pretty cool. We see Peter Parker recording some videos on his phone of his journey to, I think it was Germany, where Civil War took place, and it's sort of like him and Happy Hogan going to a hotel, and he's like, you got a brand new suit, for a gift from Tony, and he pops it open. There's a brand new high-tech Spider-Man suit for him to use for them to fight in the little Civil War airport scene. But he's recording the whole thing, for himself to watch later, so that's a cool thing. He's like, I was fighting the Avengers, and I took Captain America's shield and stuff. Looks fine. Take that crap off, put it back where it belongs. After Peter Parker helps out with the Tony Stark Civil War thing, he's like all excited. He's like, I'm going to be a part of the Avengers. Like, just call, let me know if you need any more help. And they're like, we'll call you. Just don't worry about it. They just needed some extra help for the moment. They don't really want him to do anything important. So he's just sort of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, just, helping out. Like, you got a lost bike? Somebody stole this bike. Like, there's a cat in a tree. Like he's on the street and some guy's like, hey, you Spider-Man? Do a flip. And he does a flip. He keeps trying to contact Happy for, like, the next mission and letting him know what's going on, just leaving a million messages, and he's ghosted. He's getting super ghosted by Happy Hogan. Spider-Man is trying to stop someone from hijacking a car, he thinks. Turns out it's the guy's own car, and the alarm is going off, and people in the buildings around are poking their heads out, and they're like, hey, what's all the noise about? Like, oh, what are you doing? Leave that guy alone. And then they see each other in the windows, and we get our Stan Lee cameo, and he's like, oh, hey, how you doing over there, Caitlin? At some point, Spider-Man is out surveying the neighborhood, and he sees some guys trying to rob an ATM, and they're using the weird alien technology to, get the ATM out of the wall. And Spider-Man shows up, he beats him up, but they manage to, knock him around because they're still using the alien tech. Apparently, Happy is helping the Avengers move into their new facility. They're not going to be in the big tower anymore. They're going to be in some other place uptown or some shit, I think they say. So they're packing up all the Avengers crap, and they're going to put it on a plane, getting ready to move it. After dealing with the ATM robber guys, Peter sneaks back into his room through the window. He's climbing on the ceiling, and he closes the door, and he drops to the ground, and his best friend Ned is on the bed behind him. He's got this Death Star Lego thing, and he drops it. oh shit, you're Spider-Man. He's like, no, you can't tell. No, don't say anything. But the next day at school, all day long, Ned's just asking him weird questions like, do you lay eggs? Do you have venom? Things of that nature, just goofy questions because he's a Spider-Man. PSA, like public service announcement from Captain America when they're in the gymnasium, like the presidential fitness challenge or some crap. Goofy little scene, and Hannibal Buress is there, and he's like, I'm pretty sure he's a war criminal, but whatever. The girl that Spider-Man is attracted to at school invites him to her party. She's having a big old fancy party, and he's invited. Ned sort of splurts out. He's like, Peter knows Spider-Man. He's like, you could probably get him to come to your party. Ah, crap. So now it's like, I've been invited to the party, but they also want to see Spider-Man. So at some point at the party, I'm going to have to disappear. And Spider-Man's going to have to show up and be like, where's my buddy Peter? Peter sees this big, weird explosion. It's like a blue explosion in the distance out the window. And he's like, crap, I got to Spider-Man it up now. But the people at the party, like, they're expecting me to whatever. But he's like, I got to do it. So he gets out there and he starts going toward the thing. And he starts to shoot his web in the distance. But it's there's nothing to attach to because he's going like away from the buildings and stuff. So there's sort of a goofy moment where he's like, crap, and you just gotta like kind of run because he can't swing there. Some of the guys that we're working with, Michael Keaton's character, are trying to sell some of the alien tech to some local hood thug guy. And he's like, I just wanted some regular guns. I don't need this crazy fancy stuff you guys are doing. One of the guys has a big old gauntlet thing on his hand, and it's a shocker thing, and he punches Spider-Man and knocks him away. They end up calling the Vulture because Spider-Man's onto him, and there's a chase scene where Spider-Man's trying to keep up with them in the van with all the alien tech. As Peter is trying to keep up with the van, he ends up sort of running through people's yards and scaring little kids that are out like camping in their little tent, and there's sort of a Ferris Bueller joke in there. That's pretty goofy because it happened in the Ferris Bueller movie also, similar thing. Vulture grabs him and takes him way up into the sky, and apparently something in the new high-tech suit that Spider-Man is wearing sets off the height that he's at, sets off a thing where a parachute shoots out of it, and it sends him flying backwards, but he wasn't prepared for it. He's sort of, the chute isn't working properly, so he ends up falling all the way down into a lake. I guess it's a lake. I guess it could be the ocean. I'm not really sure. He's all tangled up in the parachute, and he's underwater, and he's gonna drown. But Iron Man shows up miraculously at the last second, pulls him out, and sits him down and has a talk with him. Like, I thought we were supposed to, you're supposed to lay low. You're not supposed to be doing the big, crazy stuff like this. But actually, Iron Man is actually not there. The suit is there, but Tony is talking to him remotely from some other place. Peter takes one of the little purpley glowing alien rock thingies and he starts to study it, and he's carrying it with him. Him and Ned are both really smart, and they're trying to figure out how it works and all that stuff. The guy that was using the shocker technology is sort of talking shit on the Vulture, and the Vulture's like, oh yeah, is that how you feel? You're just gonna try to blackmail me or whatever? And he's like, picks up one of the alien tech guns and just vaporizes him. And it's like, here you go, you can be the new Shocker. So there's a new Shocker. Peter is part of a smart kids group that is going to have a competition, some smart kid competition in Washington, D.C., because they're some of the best. They're the best smart kids. And while they're out there, Peter is like, Iron Man was able to track me because he's got a tracker in the suit. So they're like breaking the suit down, and they find the tracker and take it out so that Iron Man can't, watch him and spy on him or whatever. But there's also something in the programming that they find, the programming of the suit, that is called the training wheels protocol, I believe is what it's called. And it's like, you're not allowed to use the suit's full potential unless you go through, a lot of training and stuff. But he's like, I don't need that. I'm not some kid. So they remove the training wheels protocol. Peter is tracking a couple of those bad guys. He finds out that his suit has an instant kill mode, and he's like, whoa, I don't want that. I just want regular stuff. He's like, just pick one of the, pick one of the settings for the webs. And he's like, whoa, that's not the right webs. Those are different crazy webs. It's like, I probably should have trained before using some of the crazy stuff. Finds the Vulture trying to steal stuff out of a truck. Vulture's using this crazy portal technology that like lets you phase through physical stuff. Peter gets himself in the van and gets himself stuck because Vulture gets out of there and takes the technology with him, which so he can't phase through the ceiling of the truck, and so he gets stuck in there and taken to some facility. Has a new lady voice in his suit that he starts talking to, and yeah, he's trapped in the facility, and he's just keeping himself busy by talking to the lady in the suit and telling him about his feelings for the girl at school and all that stuff. Peter realizes that the little purple glowy rock thing that Ned is now carrying around is actually can be a bomb. It can explode if it's, exposed to radiation. And as they're going through x-ray machines at the airport, it exposes it to radiation. And so now it's, anything could happen at any moment. They're in the Washington Monument, and as they're going up this big elevator, the little bomb rock thing is activated, and it sort of like slices through some of the elevator junk equipment, and so like they're just barely hanging on, like the elevator's about to crash, fall, and Spider-Man's like crawling up the Washington Monument as quick as he can. He's trying to get up there, he's webbing, he's doing everything he can. There's a helicopter that's like, hey, you're not allowed to be up here, Spider-Man. Only one way to get into the building, and it's if I smash through this tiny window. So Spider-Man like flips back and he goes over the blades of the helicopter and then webs onto it and pulls himself and smashes through the window, and he gets in there just in time to save the people on the elevator. He webs it all up and makes sure everybody's safe. Oh yeah, and he has these little web wings. Apparently, he's sort of in the comics. He had like little webby wings, so he uses them to sort of glide over the helicopter thing. There's a goofy Captain America, another PSA type video from Captain America, and it's real goofy. He's like, so you got detention. Well, shouldn't be bad. Follow the rules. Peter finds one of the hoodlum thug guy that was trying to buy weapons from the other bad guys, the guy that didn't want the fancy alien stuff, and he's like, "What do you know about those people? What are you doing around here?" And the guy's like, I don't, I don't want crazy stuff like that around here. I've got a nephew in this neighborhood, and apparently. We find out that they're implying that Miles Morales is living somewhere around this, and that is the Donald Glover's character is the guy that became the Prowler in the comics, and he was also in the Spider-Verse movie, the Prowler. That's Donald Glover's character, and his nephew is Miles Morales, the other Spider-Man. Peter finds out that a bunch of the bad dudes are on they're trying to move some of their tech and sell it on this ferry. They're on a boat. Spider-Man tries to take down the bad guys, but their technology is super powerful and ends up slicing the ship in half. And he's trying to keep it together with all the different webs and tech stuff he's got. And he's just trying to pull the boat back together, but he's not strong enough. He's not good enough with the suit yet. And luckily, Iron Man shows up, puts a bunch of like rocket things on the side of the boat. Pushes it back together and like welds it shut. Iron Man is there this time in the suit to tell him, you don't deserve this suit. And Peter's like, I'll be nothing if you take away the suit. And he's like, if you think you're nothing without the suit, then you don't deserve to have the suit. You should be good enough on your own as a hero or whatever. Peter finds out that the girl at school that he likes actually likes him back. He invites her to the homecoming thing that's coming up at school, and she's into it. He shows up to take her to the homecoming dance thing, and guess who's there? Michael Keaton, Adrian Toombs, the Vulture, turns out to be her dad. Michael Keaton is their chaperone, and he's driving Peter and the girl to the homecoming dance, and he tells her to go inside so he can have a little chat with Peter. He's like, I know who you are, and if you get in my way again, I'm going to kill you and everyone you love. It's kind of a dangerous neighborhood sometimes. Peter ends up having to get his old, goofy-looking, homemade Spider-Man suit to take care of the bad guys that show up at the thing. Shocker's there. They have a big fight. Shocker punches him into the friggin' bus and stuff. He gets his best friend Ned to help him. Ned wants to be the guy in the chair. There's always a guy in the chair that is on the computer helping out the other guy do the thing. Peter steals Flash Thompson's car, which is funny because screw that guy. And he doesn't really know how to drive, so he's doing terrible. But he goes back to where the Vulture, the hideout, is, and the Vulture's like, you're a piece of shit. I told you not to get in my way, and you did. And he like calls down the Vulture suit tech thing, and he like takes out some stuff in the building, and the building shit just falls on Peter, and Peter's like, meh, meh. And there's a good like reference to a comic book moment. Peter's like underneath some rubble, and his mask is all torn up, and he realizes like he's gotta since he doesn't have the fancy suit, he's got to do this all on his own, and with his own strength and willpower, and he lifts himself out of the rubble. Spider-Man catches up with the Vulture, and he webs onto him, and he's up in the air, and they get onto this plane, because Vulture's trying to get the Avengers gear that they're moving out of this plane that's already in the air, and they end up fighting on the outside of this stealthy Avengers plane. Shit goes into the engines, and the plane starts going down. Spider-Man uses his webs to pull up the thing and change the trajectory of the plane, so it's not going to land in the city. It's going to land on a beach. There's a cool fight with him and Vulture on the beach, but at some point he runs out of web fluid. He's like trying to tell the Vulture guy, he's like, your suit, that technology is unstable, and you can't do this, or else something bad's gonna happen. And he's like, whatever, kid. And he tries to fly off with the shit, and his suit like fucking explodes. Somehow Spider-Man is able to save his life. After all that, the girl that Spider-Man likes, whose name is Liz, I had forgotten that all this time. Liz, she's forced to leave the school because I guess everybody finds out that her dad was this villain, and he finds out that the other girl that I said was MJ that was annoying, or kind of an asshole. She's like, people call me MJ or whatever. It's like, my name's Michelle, but people call me MJ. And I was like, that's so stupid. That's so bad. Like, they were trying to put like a Mary Jane MJ thing in there so hard, but it's like not even the same person. It's like a whole different, whatever, I guess. Like, this is their new universe. We can't have the same old Mary Jane, but we can have an MJ. Whatever. Dumb. Tony invites Peter to the new Avengers facility, and he's like, I'm going to try to be the father figure to you, like the father that I never had. And, like, you did a good job with the Vulture situation, blah, blah. And here's your new suit. I've got a cool new suit for you, and you're going to be officially one of the Avengers. Isn't that cool? And Peter's like, you know what? I think you were right beforehand. I'm just a kid. I need to live my life. I need to just be a regular neighborhood Spider-Man. But he ends up getting to keep the suit that he had before, the other fancy suit. Not the newest fancy suit, but the other fancy suit. There's a scene where he's like in his room, like taking off his Spider-Man outfit, and like Aunt May's like behind him, like, what the fuck? And then the credits roll, and there's good music. There's good music throughout this whole thing, but it's like Blitzkrieg Bop. God, I did that horribly. Blitzkrieg Bop. All right, I'm doing that bad, but yeah, it's that one. It's that one. And there's really cool animated credits, little doodles and goofy little animated things. Pretty cool. There's like mid-credits and post-credits stuff, and one of them is Adrian Toomes, the Vulture, meeting the Scorpion in jail, and he's like, yeah, I'll be talking to you soon, or whatever. And the final post-credits thing is another Captain America type PSA thing, where he's like, so you sat till the end of the credits, and you expected something. Well, disappointment is a thing we all have to deal with. So that's the big joke, is we waited for a thing that is basically nothing. And that's the movie. I think it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. I think the suit is way too high-tech. The Iron Man suit, he should have been more grounded, regular Spider-Man, not have all the fancy, like, he's not Iron Man. We don't need him having all kinds of crazy technologies and stuff. It's neat. I didn't like the MJ thing. I thought that was a dumb reveal. It was like, MJ, like, it's not Mary Jane, whatever, it's somebody else. The music throughout is really, really good. I love the soundtrack in this. Lots of cool pop music, fun stuff, retro-ish sometimes. I really like the acting. I think it's amazing that Tom Holland is able to have a really good American accent, even though he's British. I think that's pretty cool. Michael Keaton kind of steals the show in this movie. Michael Keaton is amazing. He's a badass in this movie. His friend Ned is pretty fun, pretty goofy, a little cheesy, a little corny, type of character, but he's fun. He's good. All the CGI looks pretty fucking amazing, and I'm a big fan. I think it's a good movie. I think you should check it out if you are interested in Spider-Man at all. I mean, if you're like a purist, then maybe this one's not for you, but it's still a pretty cool addition to the MCU. So yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Feel free to leave me a comment if you'd like. I enjoy hearing what you guys have to say. And that's it. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man.
That's so stupid. I chose this shirt because it sort of looks like a web. I don't know, sort of. I don't have any Spider-Man shirts or anything. The only thing in here that has Spider-Man is like, there's one over there, there's a Spider-Man, and there's a little Spider-Man right there. But yeah, like I don't have any shirts or anything, so I was like, red, he wears a red suit, it's red. This thing sort of looks like some kind of web, so I don't know. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You gonna have a web shirt? You got a red shirt and a web shirt? What are we doing here? Happy Ghost Day, everybody. What do you call it? Actually, he doesn't drop him. Damn it. And he's like, if you really cared about me, Peter ends up finding a couple of the bad dudes show up to, and Spider Burp. As they're going up this, the on this ferry, and the and as he's driving up to school, Michael Keaton is their chaperone, and he's driving them to let me finish it. To like pull up the itchy nose. Itchy spider nose. I got spiders in my nose, bros. Has a short distance to do a web. There's no real reason. My arms are longer than that. I have to scrunch in order to do that. That was stupid. I should have done it from way back there, but then it wouldn't have made sense. I'd have to like pull it up or something. He doesn't actually eat bugs. That'd be weird.